You need to ask yourself, that house that you bought, is it born of the promise or born of the flesh? That car that you bought, is it born of the promise or born of the flesh? Because we got a lot of folks that's walking around here using debt as a license to pretend. They're pretending that they have something when they know the creditors on their backs every other day. They're scared to answer their phone, but they look good. So we got to understand this. We got to summon success not by what you see, but what you believe. The clearer your goal, the greater your faith. Can you see it enough to start walking toward it? See, walking is something that it talks about in the Bible. You know, when Jesus cured the blind man, it's my favorite story in the Bible. Cured the blind man, what did he do? He spit into some clay, he rubbed it in his face, and he said, walk 2 miles, wash it out, and then you can see. The blind man had a choice. He could have said, why don't you just cure me right here? Why do I have to walk 2 miles? Just kill me right here. Why do I have to go? Because you understand that sometimes God gives us instruction to justify a blessing. And we as Christians need to follow that instruction and can't be afraid to walk with it. Because as James 2:17 clearly states, even so faith that hath not works is dead, being alone. So when you're talking about real faith, there's really 2 components. Half of faith is belief, and the other half is acting on that belief. You can't have one without the other. You pray all day, and I pray every day. But sometimes you got to get off your knees and put a mission to that prayer. And work and walk to it. Faith is the expectation of God to perform His will, and you can see the level of faith or the actions that they demonstrate every single day. Are you getting what you expect? You're sitting back and you're asking for a new job, but you haven't had any interviews, you haven't tried to go to any interviews, you haven't networked. You got things like social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, MySpace, all these things where people are connected, and you haven't gone to any networking functions. You haven't started walking yet. You're trying to say, I'm starting a business and I got this idea, but you haven't formed a business plan and haven't started saving. You're not walking yet. You say, Brian,